Try to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to my next part of my new series where I am trying to teach you about things that are fatphobic that you may not have known are fatphobic. So the next thing on the list has to do with thin people. I know, the horror. A fat person talking about thin people, but anyway. So this has to do with when a thin person and a fat person do the exact same thing, but then they're treated differently. That in and of itself is fatphobic. But then the thing that I want to talk about is the justification that comes along with it. For example, a thin person eats shit and records themselves doing it. Now, the justification behind it as, well, she probably works out, and the fat person obviously doesn't. That right there is fat phobia. Assuming that a thin person works out, and then assuming that a fat person doesn't, is fat phobic. So stop assuming you know what people do with their bodies. Stay tuned for the next part.
So our body holds two types of fat. One is the subcutaneous fat, which is on top of the muscle, and then there's visceral fat, which is surrounding our visceral organs. And a little bit of this is normal because that's what protects the visceral organs, but too much of this visceral fat can lead to increased cardiovascular disease such as stroke and heart attacks, increased insulin resisting, leading to diabetes, metabolic syndrome, worsening PCOS, and that is why we try to reduce this visceral fat. Some of the things that we look at is your body shape. If you're shaped more like an apple where most of your fat is around the abdomen and your legs are slender, then that could mean you hold more visceral fat. We also look at your waist circumference. So if your waist is greater than 35 inches for women and 40 inches for men, then we are concerned about increased visceral fat. We know that where you hold your fat has a lot to do with genetics, but lifestyle changes can also help. Follow for part 2.
See my dress up right now, I'm breathing, but I got no pulse. I hold nothing on. I'm done. I'm in about this one.
I guess you ain't a bad bitch.
Let's cue the
clearly you felt called out. Obviously this applies to you, fatty. That's why you're so upset.
wrong. Men are always gonna make those jokes to me anytime I call out any bitch ass dude. But let me tell you something. Those jokes only apply if I really wanted Linguini from Ratatouille to be attracted to me. And disrespectfully, I'd rather gouge out both my eyes with my acrylics, bitch. Not only that, but this dude's making a very apparent fat joke, and he's built like the world's worst middle schooler. You look like you use the term sheesh a lot, huh? White boat shoes? Please. Nah. Do you work at Jersey Mike's? Look like you would. Hey, but you tried though. Bye!
Guy looks like a orange cotton candy.
You look like a 50-year-old retired skateboarder. A little fat old man you look like.
Am I fat?
For those who follow and support me, this is simply a one-time response to this creator. I am not opening a dialogue with her. I have one message to give to her, and I hope she listens and takes it in. But this is not me starting a dialogue. Thank you. The following clips contain disturbing instances of fat phobia. Viewer discretion is advised.
Where did I go from this?
Picture from before my ED, terrible body in it, constantly yo-yo dieting, fat phobia.
To this?
Neither is good though, is it? So you're telling me that in this picture here she doesn't have an eating disorder? I think she has an eating disorder in both. Fat doesn't make you less attractive. That's an opinion. I personally can look at her and I think she has a nice face, and I know that's fat phobic of me to say, but I think fat bodies are not attractive. To me, it just it indicates to me that somebody has not been willing to take care of themselves. They have no discipline, likely.
Hey Shakara, I saw your video. The one slandering me and a bunch of my other lovely peers in the fat acceptance community on TikTok. I could pick apart every little thing you said in your video, and how what you are saying online is not only no longer backed by proper evidence, and that you were downright nasty, like when you called me a circus freak because of my size. But I won't do that. That won't get us anywhere. So I just want to ask you a few things. Do you genuinely love yourself? If you could never work out again, how would that impact your self-perception? If you didn't have the privilege of being in an able body, what would you say about health then? One of the main differences between you and I is that I escaped my eating disorder and learned that it was not only hurting me physically, cue all the symptoms of anorexia here, but mentally. I wasn't just nasty to myself, but I judged others for their size too. And that's what you're doing now. Still, publicly. But here's where the difference comes in. I learned about how racism actually fuels our hatred of larger bodies. Every day, I learn about the internal biases we have, and I work to break them down because they uphold racist, ableist frameworks that systematically oppress those in larger bodies. Did I just call you racist and ableist? Yeah, I did. A few more questions, Shakara. How does it feel to be 20 years older than all these fun, cute, fat girls just trying to help others feel good about themselves while tearing no one else down while you tear them down? What does that do for you emotionally? I can understand the potential rush of dopamine when you belittle someone or diminish their human experience, but does that feeling fuel you long term? Or does it eat at you? Do you sleep at night? When I finished your video, I went back to bed. I wasn't angry. I wasn't fired up. I felt sad for you. Truly. Because I've been in your position, Shakara. The calorie counting, the food weighing, cardio program, the push or the pull days, whatever. And I was miserable. But you would have thought I looked great because I finally fit into your box of what is deemed worthy. The factor of health playing into this. Your, might I remind you, racist and ableist view of health. If you're going to take away anything from this video, take away that I'm deeply saddened by your situation and the harm that you continue to cause those around you. I hope you find enlightenment. Maybe then you'll also learn that the BMI has also been debunked because it's also racist. Sleep well, Shakara.
Oh no! Cringe.
The strippers and the fucking porn stars and them sexy motherfuckers showing shit on the bar.
Me existing does not warrant unsolicited health advice from strangers on the internet.